Hello, welcome to my little video. This video is about knitting, and if you're interested, please stay and enjoy it, and I hope you find some inspiration. I have way too much to share, a lot of projects on the go, and also some things that have been finished, and gonna have some fun today. I usually don't record videos regularly. It's always either a month or so it takes me to find some time and record. I am pretty busy, and this summer's been really busy with a lot of activities, having 4 kids. I got some bees or wasps, I'm not sure. They look a little scary. I think they're yellow jackets over there in the tree. Maybe this is a bad idea. Plus I got some flowers that I found in my backyard. There's a little bit of lavender and some flowers that attract bees, so we'll see how this goes. This should be fun. It's early in the morning. Well, not really early. It's 9 o'clock in the morning when I'm recording. It's a bit chilly today, and I'm outside because the kids usually have off on Fridays. We homeschool. I have 4 kids. I have a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and we homeschool them. And we take field trips on Fridays and do different activities and different things on Fridays, and sometimes we just take it easy and rest on Fridays. Today we're gonna go to the park and meet up some friends so the kids can play. And I figured it's been a very long time since I recorded one of these journals, and I wanted to record some of the things that I have made and some of the things that I'm working on. And my first object, which is perfect for this kind of weather, and I'm happy that I finished it in time. I think I started this maybe 3 months ago or so, or maybe 4 months ago, and I finished it recently, and I've been using it a lot. This is a half and half triangles wrap. The pattern is free on Pearl Soho website, and you can also find it on Ravelry if you just want to search for half and half triangles wrap, and it'll come up and it'll bring you to the website, and then you can look there. It's free, very easy, very cozy, knit, and very comforting while you're knitting. It's one of those things that you're not going to want to put it down, and you're going to want to make more of. And I usually don't make certain patterns more than once, but recently I have found some patterns that I wanted to knit more than once, and you'll see because I have a couple things that I've knitted more than once. And this was one of those patterns that you want to keep on making it. So this is the triangles wrap. It's a double because you get 2 triangles and you don't do any seaming, and it's a super cozy. I'm gonna have to reblock it to make it even. I think it's possible, we'll see. So that way this doesn't happen like that, the little 2 tails. So yes, oh, this is so warm and so cozy. I'm sitting on the metal chair and it's a bit cold in my tush. So this is one of the perfect fall weather things that you need. Especially I take the kids to the park often, even when it's chilly and cold, even in like 40-degree weather, 30-degree weather in the winter. We have a group that we meet every week on Wednesdays, and no matter what the weather is, even if it's raining or snowing or ice, we get out anyways. Those who aren't afraid of the cold weather get out. We have fires. The kids run around and play, so they never get cold, but I always get them dressed really nice and warm. And last year I've used my other one, but that one wasn't as warm as I'm hoping this one will be. This one's bigger, and it's non-superwash wool, and it's linen quill, yeah, I forgot to mention, it's linen quill. I bought 2 different colors on sale. I think I bought these when they were 20% off. Sometimes they have 20% off, sometimes they have 15% off, and sometimes they have 25% off. So I'm gonna start waiting for the time when it's 25% off and get some more, because I do love this yarn. I mean, even without the sale, it's very affordable. It's $19 per 100 grams, and it's finger and weight yarn, and it's non-superwash. So that's not bad. But and I bought in the full price before. I don't remember which ones I bought, but I'm sure I bought some of these ones. I bought these 2 separate times, 2 different times, and then I put them together. I'm like, they'll be a nice half and half triangles wrap. And I used, for the whole entire wrap, it's a little bit less than 400 grams. So I used 200 grams for each color. I had a little tiny bit left. Let me show you how much. So I had a little bit left of the darker blue one. I think this one called Deep Sea, and this one Vintage something blue. I can't remember. I don't have the tags. I throw them away. So more of this left than this for some reason. I don't know. It's always a little bit more than a full 100 grams. It's like 106 grams, 110 grams. I don't know. It's always a little bit more. Every skein's a bit more weight. So it's always over 100 grams. So that's always nice. But I cast on 200 stitches on mine, not 190, because the pattern calls for 190. And then there's also one for 260, I think. I never made it that big. So I'm a loose knitter. I think I knit Continental, and my gauge is really loose. I use 2.25 millimeter needles, 3 US size, and this is, some people cast on 230 stitches, and they're able to use only 200 for each color and still have a little bit left over. But I think I'm really loose knitter, so I used to be, at least. We'll see. I think my gauge is changing to certain pains in my body, or maybe I have pains because my gauge is changing. Because I used to not know, like when people would say, "Oh, I became a tighter knitter or a looser knitter," I'm like, how's that possible? Like, that never happened to me. But you know what? When you say that, something happens to you. So I gotta learn to keep my mouth shut sometimes. So these are very nice collars. I think I've been liking blue as well. So like, I think blue could be one of my favorite colors. I do like this one. It's super nice and warm and cozy. Oh yeah, and what I'm wearing a cardigan that I knitted maybe last year or the year before in the fall, I think, maybe like 2 years ago. This is knit from the Plutolopi or Letlopi, the yarn that's unspun, and it's only in 1 strand. I use less than 200 grams for this. It's only 1 strand of yarn. I didn't held them double, but if you could see, you can't, it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. I think I use 4 US 4 size needles, and I've been wearing it a lot. Nothing's ever ripped. Nothing's ever came apart. Nothing. This is one of my favorites for sure. For sure. I wear it all the time. If I'm really cold, I even go to sleep in it. That's how cozy it is. It's, when you first put it on, it feels a bit itchy, but then your body gets used to it. And I could wear it all day and sleep in it, and it's perfect. And I think I washed it once or twice. You could see it's starting to wear out just a little bit in a certain place. The yarn's, I mean, it's not peeling. I could probably go with the felted needle and like felt it down instead of pulling it out, because I don't want to you know, pull the wool away from it. I like it. It's a bit cropped. It's not a very long one. I didn't put any short rows on the back, so sometimes the back is a little bit higher, as you can probably tell. Sometimes it's not straight and it goes a bit higher. That was before I learned about the short rows in the back. And still learning. I'm still doing certain sweaters that have the same issue. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this on because it's cold. It's cold. I think I need my gloves or fingerless mitts or something. It's a chilly day today. It says that it's 55 right now. Oh yeah, I live in Delaware in the United States. Originally I'm not from the United States, but I've lived here more than half my life, for 22 years. It's actually this September is, I moved here in 2000, so it's easy to count how many years I've lived here. So yeah, there's my cozy, it's been 10 minutes. Okay, let's move on to a other object, project, whatever you want to call it. So this one looks familiar. It's one of those other projects that you like to reknit a couple of times. I think I'm pretty, so this is ranunculus. I've knitted this in different versions maybe 4 or 5 times already. I even made one for my daughter. And she likes it, she wears it still. I made it last year. And now my youngest one's wearing it. So this is just like a summer tee that I made. Very drapey yarn that I ordered from, I ordered this cone from Etsy. Doesn't have any information on it, but I believe it's viscose, silk, and cotton. And more of the content in this yarn is cotton. But this is from Italy. I think it's italianyarns.com. I'll definitely link it below if I don't forget or run out and too busy and just want to post a video, but I'll try. I like this yarn a lot. I wore it once on a very warm day. I mean, it's just perfect. I have a lot more yarn left. I think this was 500 grams maybe, or 400. And I didn't weigh how much this is, but this is probably like 120 or 30, I'm not sure. I'll have to wait and see for myself. But this took me a couple of weeks because I took a lot of breaks. Any other time it would take me about 4 or 5 days. I like to so my kids go to sleep pretty early. Well, now that the boys are getting a bit older, this is going to change, and I'm not very excited about it. But when they were younger, last year, let's say, you know, they were in bed by 7:30, and I have plenty of time to knit at nights because I don't go to sleep until at least 10, and we don't go anywhere at nights because, you know, kids had to go to sleep early. And that was me being that person, that mom who, if we had any family dinners or anything going on, or like every holiday, I had to rush out and be the first one to leave. Even, I mean, it's not always on time, but it's a little bit later. But I hated coming home super late, which I'm sure those who have kids, 1 or 2 even, or 3 kids, I mean 4 kids is a lot. So my siblings wouldn't understand me because I was the first one to have kids in my family. Now that they have kids, so they're starting to understand what I was doing. I'd had to get home early so that way I could get the kids to sleep without having everybody cranky before it's sleep time, because then you gotta brush your teeth, you gotta get in jammies, everybody's cranky, everybody's tired, including me. So I always leave home early. But my knitting time is mostly after they go to sleep. It used to be during their naps. If I'm getting them to sleep, I always knit it. But now that none of them take a nap, I don't knit, but I do knit when they're doing some school and I'm just telling them what to do. I got my boys to help with the dishes and the laundry. So they're old enough to do some chores around the house. They don't do a lot. So I had to find something for them to do, so that way when they grow up, they'll be able to do their own laundry and their own dishes. And I have to teach them how to cook too. I try to teach I did teach my son, my youngest son, he's 12 now, but he was like 10. I taught him how to knit a little bit, and he knew how to do the garter stitch, so he could knit. I didn't teach him how to purl, but he got into it first. He was all excited, he really liked it, but then I think it's an age thing where they change, and then he really didn't want to knit anymore, and I keep trying to get him to knit for me. I'm like, can you please knit for me? I can't knit. Can you knit? He said no. He's too busy playing video games, playing basketball. He does music. He played violin, so he doesn't want to do any of it. I am very chatty this morning. I don't think any of my other videos are this chatty, but I'm just gonna be myself. And today goes whatever. Today, I don't know. I'm gonna be cutting a lot of this out because I talk too much. So I like this yarn a lot. This is perfect for summer. It is. I think I would say this is maybe DK weight. Let's see. Where's the string? The beginning. What did I do? Oh, here it is. Now let's put that down. Grab some more stuff. I'm just gonna grab it all and put it on my lap. So that was my last summer knit that I did. This is a cute little scarf that I made. Something quick. What do they call it? A pellet cleanser. I've seen an episode of Jackie, Caddy Jacks, yes, and one of the ladies have knitted one of these little Sophie scarves, and of course I got inspired and I wanted to make one for myself. Don't know if I'm gonna wear it, how I'm gonna wear it, give it to one of my girls. I'm probably gonna give it to one of my girls. The youngest one, she loves dressing up and fashion and all that stuff. She likes cute clothes, so I guess I'll just keep it on as well. It's a little scrap yarn I had, and I held it with a little bit of fluffy alpaca and silk yarn that I had left over from a recent sweater I made, and I had a little bit left over. I still have a lot more left over. This yarn I dyed a couple years ago by myself, and I'm pretty sure it's not super washed, but I think it does have nylon in it. It's merino wool, and I ordered it from, which I'm not sure what's going on, Dye or Supply. I used to order undyed yarn from them, and every time I go on their website now, there's nothing on there. The website isn't closed, but they have no yarn at all, and I'm a bit upset because that was my #1 place to go and buy undyed yarn, and it is here in the US, so the shipping wouldn't take long, and I was able to get what I wanted and dye the yarn myself for myself. I just loved dyeing the yarn, seeing what colors. And this was one of their yarns. This is a sock yarn that they have. I think it's 25 nylon and 75 merino wool, and it's superwash sock yarn. This is a pair of socks that I was knitting. I'm sure I've shown these before. This is a yellow yarn that I dyed myself. It has a bit of pink speckles in it. I don't know if you could see it or not. This sock does not have any pink speckles in it. This one does have some. I think I dyed 200 grams of this yellow color. I have more left. I want to make some more cute socks, or maybe even a yellow hat would be fun. Put the yarn together, double it, and make a warm yellow hat. How much fun would that be? I think I'm gonna do that. Not for myself, of course. One of my kids, maybe, so I could see them all the time, because I like to keep an eye on them when they're at the park. So this is just a pattern. I think I cast on 60 stitches on 2.25 millimeter needles. I did 1 by 1 rib for like 14 rows, I believe. And then what I did is just went on, and every 5, so this is like a 5 row and then 5 stitch repeat. It's just a purl bump every, you know, and it comes this like zigzaggy pattern. Nothing special, just self-drafting for fun. And then I do like this heel, but then recently I also learned that I do like the short row heel too. Maybe I don't know, we'll see. I got another pair of socks that I knitted. So these might be a gift for somebody. I will put them in my little pile of gifts. But I knitted a pair of socks on my knitting machine flat. I knitted them flat and then I seamed it on the side, and I'm wearing them because it's pretty cold. And these are 100% British wool, non-superwash, no nylon. I put some linen yarn. See how that will hold it up? I put a strand of linen yarn on the heel and also a toe. I think I'm just probably gonna wear these around the house only. I don't think I'm gonna wear them with sneakers or boots. Maybe boots. Maybe rain boots. And we will see how they help hold up. But these are ones I made on my knitting machine. They're 100%. So the funny thing about 100% wool, I don't know if this happens with all of it, but I've had a couple of pairs where the ribbing stretches out pretty. It doesn't hold like tight. So it always stretches out. So I think you need to put in some elastic in it. So I think I'm gonna try to do that. And we'll see. I'm gonna run some elastic through the ribbing. So I'm wearing everything knitted right now. This is another shirt that I made. That was a couple months, like maybe a month ago or something. I made this on my knitting machine. I just wanted to make a little summer shirt before I went to Florida, which I never finished and never took it with me. This is bamboo and linen yarn together, and it's a tuck stitch that I did on my knitting machine. And it's just a, I think it ended up being too short, so I needed to pick up the stitches on the bottom and do a little ribbing, and I haven't done it. So I think I might do that, or I might just leave it this way and leave in all the ends and just wear it like this under like a cardigan or another shirt and tuck it in my jeans. But this fabric is pretty nice. So it's linen, a strand of lace, super thin linen, and then a strand of 100% bamboo yarn that I ordered a couple years ago on webs.com or yarn.com. They have it there sometimes. I haven't been on the website for a long time because I don't need any yarn, and I can go on their website because if I do, they have a lot of great yarns on there, and I love that website because they offer so much different yarns. Okay, and this is the last thing that's almost finished. Just needs buttons. This is another pattern that I've knitted more than once. I think this is my, well, 3 that I've completed with the same motif on top. I've made a summer shirt. I made another cardigan that I showed in the previous episodes, and then I wanted to use the right yarn and re-knit it again so I could, you know, I'm gonna use them both. I use all my cardigans, all my sweaters and everything that I've knit for myself. I use all of them, you know, and some more like this one than others. So I'm sure I'm gonna use this one a whole lot because I like the fit of it. I like the color for the fall. I just need buttons, and I couldn't find my buttons, so I think I'll have to go out and buy some buttons. I have $25 gift card for a yarn shop. Might go and pick out some buttons that will go. So this one is, the pattern is by Petite Knit, and this is a Anchors sweater or Anchors cardigan or something. I've shared the pattern before, but I used it up. So because I am very small in here, I don't have a bigger bust than most, I guess. I'm not even gonna say normal, because there's no such thing as normal. Every single woman on this earth is different measurements somewhere, so nobody's ever the same. So that's why I like to modify all my sweaters so they're not really big on me, and I can like the fit and feel comfortable, not like super over sized, but just normal, like a normal fitting garment for my body. So I always, almost every single pattern I get, I have to modify it. I have to make it to fit my body. So instead of 10 repeats, I did 8 repeats. I did a little bit of less stockinette stitch up here and a little bit less increasing here. And I thought the sleeves would be huge when I was making it. I'm like, oh no, the sleeves are gonna be super baggy. I was wrong though. I love the fit of the sleeves. I love the fit of this cardigan. Next time I'm gonna have to wear it and put buttons on it. This yarn is amazing. It's Columbia yarn. It has not mohair in it, and I think it's not superwash either. It has some mohair in it. It is a bit, as you can see, it's a beautiful yarn. Oh, and I think this is it says fingering weight, so it's 360 meters or 300 meters per 100 grams. I don't remember. So I used up, I have some leftovers maybe for some fingerless mittens. I'm not gonna make a hat out of it because I think you'll be itchy for a head, but fingerless mittens would be fun in this yarn, and it'll be really warm. Or maybe even just regular mittens if I have enough. I'll have to measure and see how much I have left. But this is another favorite pattern, and I think I'm gonna go also make out of that white yarn that I had left over from the shirt that I showed you. I'm gonna make next year in the spring. I'm gonna make another summer top in using the same motif. They have a pattern for the summer tops. I like to, if I buy a pattern and I know how to make the motif, I can modify it to, you know, be a t-shirt, which is pretty easy. And I do buy patterns sometimes if I'm not sure how to figure something out or make something. I don't buy patterns a lot. I do buy some patterns, but most of the times it's always like self-drafting. Most of the time I just don't feel like either looking for a pattern. I just get an idea and I just start knitting it. And then sometimes, like the Instagram, when you scroll on Instagram and you see something and you're like, oh, I like the pattern, and then you're like, oh, I'll buy it. But like when I'm just sitting here knitting and I wanted to knit something, like, oh, I need a cardigan, I'm just gonna start. I usually start from the bottom. Like this one was started from the bottom, and then, or if it's a raglan one, I'll start from the raglan. I also use some patterns that I buy more than once for different ideas or different cardigans, but like use maybe same numbers sometimes and just modify it in different ways. So that was all the things that I finished recently. I mean, it's been more than a month, and I think I haven't been knitting as much as I usually do. Well, first thing, busy, and second thing, during summer my hands started hurting, and I'm not sure why. So I have had and my shoulders, so I've been taking it easy, taking breaks, not overdoing it. And that means that at night I go to sleep early now because I can't knit, and I don't like to watch TV that much. Sometimes we'll listen to an audiobook, but it's been a while. So I have lots of projects that I'm working on. Let's see, where do we start first? I'm gonna grab my bag and I'm gonna start in here. Put my leftover yarn up here. So another project that I'm re-knitting again, another half and half triangles, because I have to have it. It's a mindless knit, it's a comforting knit, And it's just something about this pattern. I don't know what it is. It's like you want it and you want more, and it's like a drug, a yarn drug. And I cast on another one using 2.5, no, not 2.5, what am I talking about? 3.5 millimeter needles, US 4 size. And I cast on less stitches because I don't want it as big as this one, but a little bit smaller. And I've done this much. I cast on maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and I knit on this mostly when I bring my children to karate and wait for them for 45 minutes. So I'll get in a couple rows while I wait for them. So this one is this yarn. I think I might remember the color of this yarn. Let's see if it's there in my brain somewhere, if I can pull it up. I believe this is mustard seed color. I was gonna knit it in the fall colors, but then I decided to do that one next summer so that way I can have it for fall. But this one's just a fun, bright color for this kind of weather. I just felt like going with this yellow color. I don't have a lot of yellow clothing at all. Not a lot of yellow. So this one's like a bright yellow. Like this color a lot, and I love this yarn. It's a linen quill yarn. It's a lovely yarn. So this project is when I knit when I'm waiting for the kids for karate, and then and of course I gotta stay off Instagram because Instagram gives me a lot of inspirations, and then I see something somebody made and I love it, and I'm like, ooh, I want that, which is kind of a, I mean, it could be bad, but when it comes to like warm clothing and you're like, oh, I want to stay warm, I want something cute, then I don't think it's bad at all. And if you have some yarn for it, then why not? So somebody posted a picture of themselves wearing a little v-neck vest with a colored shirt. It was beautiful and it looked really classic and I loved it, and I'm like, oh, I need a vest. I don't have any yet. So I've done it before for a cardigan, but I started in the back. I cast on 50 stitches. This is my own pattern, self-drafting, no pattern. Just started and I'm like, okay. So I cast on 50 stitches. I knitted 4 inches, or was it 5? I don't remember, 4 or 5 inches. Then I started increasing for the underarm, and I knitted that, and then I put that on hold. Then I knitted the front one at a time, and then I put it together. I cast on 10 stitches on the sides to give me some space under my arms, and I'm gonna do ribbing around on all these 3 here, here, and here. And I think I'm gonna make it a bit, I'm not gonna make it really long, so that way if I'm wearing a dress or a collared shirt, it's not too long, but it looks cute. So this is 3 days of work. 3 days of work. This is 3 days of work. I'm using size needles, US 5 needles. So this is 3 days of work. It's getting on. These are interchangeable needles, and one of them was getting unscrewed. So yeah, my very first vest that I'm making for myself. I'm excited. I tried it on. I like the fit. It's not baggy, it's not oversized, but it's it fits me just like I wanted to so far. I'm not finished yet, but so far it has a good fit. I wanted a little bit of, I didn't want it to have any positive ease. I mean, just like a little bit, just a perfect fit without any negative or positive ease. And I didn't want to stretch too much either. So I think this might be a good fit. I'm not sure yet because I didn't swatch. I didn't swatch at all. I just started it and I just went with it. And I'm like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it's okay. It was a good learning lesson for me. So yeah. Oh yeah, and this is a new project bag I bought last month. And I only bought 2 project bags from online that were actually made for knitting. And this is one of them when Emma from oh jeez, it's right here, Noble Crafter Crafts on Etsy. And sometimes she has projects updates. She doesn't always have them in her shop because they go fast, but I decided to finally, after seeing her beautiful projects, I got a small size, but it's pretty big. I got 2 projects in here, but it's a really lovely bag. I used it a lot already. It's beautiful. It's beautifully made. I do so I made a couple project bags for myself too, but I wanted to buy something special from somebody else who made it with their beautiful creations and hands, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. He's a little her logo. Yeah, it's a beautiful project. Okay, I got a pair of socks in here that I'm knitting for my daughter. Not much. I finished the sock, the one, and I have to finish the second one so she can start wearing them because it's getting cold. I've knitted her a pair of socks in wool, 100% wool sock yarn, on my knitting machine a couple weeks ago, and she's wearing them now actually because she woke up and her feet were cold this morning. I started a little bit. I haven't picked this up in a couple of weeks. It's just, I think it's 48 stitches that I cast on 2.25 millimeter needles, and I think I might have done 16 for the ribbing. I'm gonna have to count, and then like a long leg so she can wear them with rain boots as well. And the colors are beautiful. So this yarn is from Knit Picks, Felici, and it's self-striping yarn. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of stuff in here. Ah. There. I've used that yarn before for my socks, or for socks that I made. I haven't worn them yet, but I think I'm gonna gift them to my sister-in-law, maybe, or maybe not. I've showed these before a while ago, these little sneaker socks. I haven't worked on them at all. Actually, no, since last time I showed, I might have. But this is one I've completed. I think even in the spring. I haven't worn them yet. I need to finish them and then wear them and see how they are, if they're slipping. Here's the second one. Oh no, oh no. Oh, they've been sitting in my room for a while. Either I cut it or a moth got in. Oh no. Oh, this is terrible. I'm gonna take some back. Ah, well, that's a problem. I don't think I haven't seen any. I'm gonna have to go through that little bag and freeze everything. Shoot. Oh, this is crazy. This is a nightmare. Well, here's the second one. I'm gonna have to take back a little bit. At least it's really close to where I'm at, so I could take a couple rows out and restart. And I'm gonna have to do something about that problem. This yarn is, dyed this yarn myself a while ago, a long time ago. I think the base of it is like, well, this is a sock yarn, and I think it's Highland. No, this is an old yarn I bought a long time ago from Craftsy. They used to sell yarns, and I think they closed their yarn shop up, and now they just do lessons and things like that. but this was like undyed sock yarn that I would buy in 10 packs and dye it myself. So I think, I'm pretty sure I dyed some of it with avocados, and then I added a little bit of sprinkled some food, because that's when I began dyeing for myself with some food coloring, and it gave these beautiful little specks of different colors. It's so cute. And I think same thing I did here, food coloring, I'm pretty sure, because I started out dyeing with food coloring when I first began. Let me pick up the yarn that fell on the ground with the hole. Here's another sock. They were in similar places. Oh no, I do have a problem, don't I? There's a little hole in here too. This stinks really, really bad. A little tiny hole. I'm gonna have to fix that up. So this is 100% wool, superwash sock. Yeah, I should have froze it when I got it first. Might have been came. So hand dyed, blue and yellow, sort of stripy. Yeah, I did half a skein, and it turned out a bit like stripy. One stripe yellow, one stripe blue, and then gray. I'm gonna have to fix that hole. I'm gonna have to solve my problem. I'm very upset. Need a lot of lavender inside, and I think I'm gonna have to diffuse a lot of lavender oils in my room. Yeah. Very upset. But these are shorty socks, which I don't know why I did shorty socks in 100% wool. I don't know why. I think I'm gonna have to pick up the stitches and do ribbing, some more ribbing. I'm not gonna take them apart. I'm just gonna pick up and do some longer ribbing. That way they could be long socks. Or maybe they could just be boot socks, like my short boots that I wear, my dressier boots. You know what? I think I'm just gonna keep them that way. But then my legs will be cold. Well, we'll see. Man, I'm so upset. I can't believe this. I gotta go through my little yarn box and see what's going on in there, because they were in my room. Okay. Here's something interesting. Another sock that I am knitting with. This yarn came from a local yarn shop in Maryland. It's the closest yarn shop I have. Vulcan's Breast Fibers. This yarn is Wild Woods. It's called Wild Woods. It's baggy sock. I don't know. Oh yeah, you can't see it. So it's 100 grams, 462 yards, 420 meters for 100 grams, 50 merino superwash wool, 25% bamboo, and 25 nylon. And I started it. I only have one. I did write notes, so I'm gonna have to go back and make another one. But this is how I knit socks on my knitting machine when I knit them flat. I do sometimes make them in the round, but that takes too much energy. So I start with the ribbing. I do some rows of ribbing. I think this might be 20 rows of ribbing, and then 30 rows of leg, and then a short row heel. Wasp. Or was it my hair and I just got scared for no reason? Okay, so short row heel. Okay, I gotta get out of here. And then I knit a foot. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I knit a foot, and then I do a short row toe. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kitchenaire these two together, and then I'm gonna seam it on the side, and they'll be perfect. I have one done. I need to do one more. So once I get to them, then my first time ever trying that kind of yarn with some bamboo in it. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm gonna move these flowers because it's attracting some flying scary things. I've seen another thing that was beautiful and I got inspired and I wanted to knit it too. I purchased this pattern on Ravelry. I got inspired by the podcast Tiny Human Knits. She was knitting these for her little nieces, and I thought my daughter would look cute in it too, and I knitted it. But some of you might say I cheated, and I did. I didn't want to knit the body by hand. It would take too long. I started with the yoke, so you start from here. You actually knit the body first, you cast on for the sleeves, you get the yoke started, and then you knit some rows, decrease a little bit, and then you pick up the body and then you knit it together and attach it to each other, and then it becomes like a little color, but it's attached to the sweater and it's part of the yoke. So I knitted the body on my knitting machine, 2 pieces, and then I seamed it on the sides, and then now I'm working the sleeves down on 2.75 millimeter needles, and she's excited to get this one. I was hoping I was going to be able to finish it for her by tomorrow, so she can wear it tomorrow to a birthday party, but it's not going to get done. It's not going to get done. Yeah, so this is a sock yarn I used. It's undyed based, and then this was yarn my brother and my mother brought me from Ukraine. It's gazelle baby wool yarn. I think it has merino, maybe has some acrylic, I don't know, but it's a nice yarn for kids. I have a lot of different colors in this yarn still, so I'm trying to use it up. So all this yarn was from my stash, and so far I think it's a little, so this, I didn't weigh how much this took, but I just picked up a little bit of this yarn, and then I think I used up almost 100 grams of this. Almost, I still have a little bit. So I think it'll be less than 150 grams for this whole entire sweater. My daughter's 5. She's a bigger size 5. I should have made a little bigger size for her. I should have. But I have people that I give their clothes to that will not be sitting, not used, so a little girl can use it. All right, I got a couple more things. I know this is going for a long time. I actually did a little swatch to see how the 2 yarns would work together. So these are, the British wool is in this color, and I had a sweater in this color before, and then I also have 100% wool and fingering weight. They're both fingering weight from Etsy shop that I purchased. Here's the color 1, here's the color 2, and I put them together because I wanted to make a cardigan for myself, and I am following a pattern that I purchased last year, and I've knitted, or maybe even this year in the spring, I've knitted this. Okay, I thought that was a little piece right here. I've knitted this cardigan twice already, one for my daughter ended up being, and one for myself, but I didn't follow the pattern all the way, so I think I'm just going to follow the pattern all the way and just knit it to pattern. And even I'm not using recommended needles. And I'm also not using recommended yarn because the cardigan calls for chunky yarn, and this is maybe Aran weight yarn, and this is 2 fingering weights. This one's light fingering, this is like a regular fingering, and they're both wool, non-superwash, super rustic, super cozy, super warm. I'm gonna love it in the winter when it's freezing cold. And this is maybe a week. I haven't been knitting for a couple of days, but I got a couple more rows. This is the back, so you start the back like this. Looks strange, it did to me. I'm like, how is this gonna work when I first started? But it works. So oh yeah, I can't wait to get this one done. The pattern is from Ravelry. I don't remember the name of it because I don't have the notes. It's all on my phone, and I'm using my phone to record. Squirrels eating corn from the chicken coop. I have a chicken coop. So let's get cold in here. It's been 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to, you know what? I'm gonna be done for now. I have a couple more in here, but yeah, this video has been, you know what, I'll share one more. I started a sweater for my daughter, self-drafting. See, I don't have the yarn for it either with me, so I can't share the yarn with you here. And it's just gonna be a little pullover with long sleeves, and it's not a usual way of knitting. This is like a newer way that I recently learned how to knit. It's like a saddle shoulder. I think that's what it is. You just increase on 4 sides, but closer than when you do a raglan, and then you increase for the sleeves. It kind of looks like a drop shoulder or like a saddle shoulder. I like this. I like this one a lot. I just haven't been able to knit, and I think this one goes real slow for some reason. I'm using 3.25 millimeter needles, and it's a slow moving project for me for some reason. Yeah, so, and I think it's also due because I've been experiencing pains in my shoulder, my hands, and in my arms, and that's why it's a slow moving project. So I think I'm going to keep that yarn that's been eaten by something separately and freeze it in case there's more little tiny bugs that are eating it, so I'm not putting it with my yarn. So thank you for watching if you made it this far. This one's pretty long because I haven't recorded in a very long time, and I've started new projects when I shouldn't have, and but why not? Do what makes you happy. If something's moving slow and I want to change up things, then I do it, because every day, you know, when you're a mom, a stay-at-home mom, pretty much like any change for you is something different, something new, because every day you do same things over and over again and you get tired of it sometimes. So I think the knitting has given me a lot of it gave me a lot of comfort and feeling like I'm doing something different. It's not just an everyday same thing over and over again. It's have been keeping me sane a little bit over the years. So that's why I like to cast on new things when I haven't even finished the other ones yet. But I'm gonna finish some of them by next time. And the latest thing that I cast on was that vest, and before that I haven't cast on anything new for a couple of weeks. And that's it. That's all oh no, I'm lying. And also the half and half triangles wrap, I think it's been like 4 days or something. So you know what, I'm not even gonna go there. So yeah, Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and we'll see you next time.